Hello guys and welcome to Wolf Nation. My name is Mo and today I'm going to watch Attack on Titan Season 3 Episode 20. So last time guys on Attack on Titan. So yeah, last episode we finally made it to the cellar. And I was not disappointed. I was expecting something completely different, but from what we got, I am satisfied with and I'm intrigued with because like I said before, it opens the possibilities and it opens the world, so I'm excited to find more information about where Eren's father came from and what kind of technology they have, how much more advanced they are than what we are, because we've seen, they are definitely more advanced. Did they know about the Titans? Did they create the Titans? Why wasn't Eren's father allowed to leave the wall? Is it separated by class, or is there something completely different? Armin, is he gonna try to work on his transforming into a Titan? Is he gonna try to work on the ability of transforming into Titan? That sounds better. And hopefully Sasha, she's recovered, and what's inside the rest of those books? Let's find out, guys. Here we go.
If you entered the city without permission, then you need to be punished.
Yes, sir.
Hard labor or a quick beating?
A beating, please.
Brother?
Well, because you don't want to trouble your parents, right?
That's right. My sister didn't want to come, but I dragged her with me. Please allow me to take her punishment too.
Very well.
Brave kid. First split second I thought he was gonna not hit him.
Sheesh, go easy on him, Kruger. Come on, dear, let's get you back home.
Damn.
Day my sister was found on the banks of the river.
Jesus.
I showed the girl to the gates of Liberio, and then I went on my way. I was busy with work, you see. And Eldian children shouldn't be roaming about the city without permits in the first place. I find it disturbing that your son doesn't know what it means to be of his bloodline. I mean, you have been teaching him so that he can feel the weight of your ancestors' sins now, haven't you?
I couldn't prove it, but I knew that
Did it
a
look
man
like she
from
was
Marley Public Security was
bit
lying
or
through
something?
his teeth. We had stumbled upon him while he was slacking off on the riverbank. How busy could he have been?
1,820 years ago,
Oh.
our ancestor Ymir Fritz made a contract
Please.
with the devil of all Earth and obtained the power of the Titans. Upon her death, Ymir's spirit was split
Ymir.
into 9 Titans. These Titans defeated the great nation of Marley and conquered the continent for themselves under the name of the Eldian Empire. Thus did this land's dark ages begin. The subjects of Ymir deemed all the other races inferior.
Is that where Ymir got her name from?
Violently oppressed.
So they was like
They
worshipping
stole
her.
wealth and land, forced other people to bear their children, and wiped out some bloodlines entirely. Marley brought 7 of the 9 Titans under its control, and used them to win the Great Titan War just 80 years ago. The Eldian king at the time erected 3 walls on the island of Paradis, and he fled there along with a great many of his people.
So
Our
Eren
ancestors
and
were
the others
abandoned and left behind on the mainland.
are
but
currently on an
despite our
island.
history, the gracious people of Marley let us live and stay on their
My
land.
father was talkative for someone
Jesus
who just
Christ.
lost his daughter. When I learned the truth of my sister's death, I swore to myself that I'd show
Jesus.
these Marlians who the real devils were. I saw that my ancestors' so-called sins were justified. But to set the world right as it had been,
So these are like
Eldia would have to be restored.
rebels who want. Okay.
Our informant within the Marleyan government was called the Owl. She didn't oppress other people, she helped them to prosper.
The history we were taught as children was just a hoax. Marleyan propaganda.
Impressive, Grisha. How do you read this ancient language?
Oh no, I haven't deciphered much of the writing at all yet.
So you're just
Then
going
how
off
do
the
you know
pictures.
that all this is true?
Because it's obvious just from looking. And because I believe in our founder Ymir with all of my heart. We're not devil bloods! We're
He's right.
God's children! Lead that she had shown us the path to victory. I'm sure of it! The king brought the founding
Picture looks
Titan's
so
power
cool.
into the walls. If we take that power, then we can control all other Titans and crush Marley once and for all!
But wait, if the
So
king
they're
was
talking
able
about
to
the
wield
coordinate
such an
power?
absolute power, then why'd he run away in the first place?
That's simple. It's because because he refused to fight.
So
In the
pacifist.
midst of the Great Titan War, the 145th King
Oh.
forsook his duty to restore order on the continent and moved his capital to a distant
That's
island.
fucking
All our
badass.
all these years of anguish, it can all be traced to the moment our king renounced conflict.
We were
Okay.
blessed with a son. His name was Zeke. A royal child, Zeke. There's no doubt in my heart that someday he'll lead his people to victory.
Could that
Years pass
be the
by,
beast
and people change.
Titan?
As the world around us rapidly
But that wouldn't make
advanced,
sense. He looks
a
older.
turning point came for the restorationists.
Well, he would be older than Eren, but
Now, listen up, you Eldians! We'll soon begin recruiting new.
The Marleyan government required subjects of Ymir to become Marleyan warriors capable of serving as vessels for the 9 Titans. World using the power of its 7 Titans, but they may soon grow
how did they
obsolete.
get those 7
An enormous
Titans?
cachet of fossil fuel
And
lies
who are
in
the
this
7
area.
Titans?
Marley can't afford to let it lie unused. But 80 years ago, the King of the Walls left behind this warning.
Even
If you
back
ever
then, they were
interfere
fighting
with our
over
affairs,
fossil fuels, huh?
the millions upon millions of Titans sleeping within the walls will flatten the entire world. As long as he can make this threat, none dare to confront him, at least not directly.
Is that true though?
Marley
We have
government
seen
has the
Titans
same
inside the
objective
wall,
as we
but
do. They'll try to
are there
infiltrate Paradis
millions?
and then seize the founding Titan for themselves.
What do we do?
Jesus, this episode.
You see, Zeke, almost everything
He was
that you've
playing
been
with,
told
like,
by the Marleyans was wrong.
I don't know,
But you
like-
have to obey their every
He was playing with
word.
an ape toy,
To do
right?
better and faster than anyone else around you.
All of us here are counting on you to save Eldia from disgrace.
Okay, I understand.
No pressure, huh?
But I should have known, better than anyone, what a wretched sin it is to impose your beliefs on your children.
He kind of did what his dad
I
did,
saw
huh?
him as a child of royal blood, as Eldia's greatest hope. But did I ever see him as Zeke, as the boy he was? At any rate, Zeke chose to protect himself, as well as his grandparents. By turning in both of his naive, foolish parents to
Damn.
Marley public security. Guys, no!
Okay, well, they didn't transform him, did
Run
they?
straight north. If you're fast enough, there's a chance you'll make it to the wall.
But Sergeant Major Gross,
This must be your first time out
Major
here.
Gross.
We do this to be sure the Titans we make leave the area. They'll chase him for a good while. But they always catch him in the end. Kruger knows, right?
It seems so
It's him. There's no
dumb
doubt.
to make
That's
Titans,
the bastard who
considering
killed
what they
my
can
sister.
do to you.
Well,
That looks like the bearded Titan that ate Eren, right? Damn. He's gotta be the owl, right?
No matter what form I might take, I swear I'll come find you.
well, isn't that romantic? I'm sure you'll make a great Titan couple.
No! Dad!
She's gonna be a female Titan? We've only ever seen one, right? Maybe 2. Was that the smiling Titan? Jesus Christ, this episode.
what was that?
And was he dreaming all this, or they read the notes and
Just calm down.
he was remembering?
You're still in the stockades. You and Mikasa, because of your insubordination.
Were you having a nightmare? Or...
Yeah, I guess I was.
Mikasa with messy hair.
You asked who?
Still looks cute.
Look at that! Your woman's forgotten all about
His
you.
wife
I guess
ends
she
up
fancies
killing
that Grice fellow more now, eh?
His future wife. Jesus, the irony.
You poor devils. It's a shame you had to be born Eldian.
Just because he's born Eldian.
Look, that is your people's true form. All it takes is some Titan spinal fluid, and any one of you will turn into a man-eating monster.
We know that Titan as well.
The whole since your history's so wonderful, why don't you share it with your friend down there?
No! You can't do this to
This
me!
is survived
I'm a
us.
human being!
Ooh, hear that? Your sister's calling for you.
Oh, He was the owl. Lunchtime.
So, is it as interesting as he said it was?
Wait, why'd you do that?
Because I'm the owl, Grisha. Watch closely, and don't forget, this is how we of the Nine use our power.
What kind of Titan is he? Jesus. Okay. Kind of looks like Eren. Titan form. Damn. Guys, that was Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 20. I'm gonna need to watch this at least 3-4 times to make sure I got all the information. I wrote down a lot, and it took a few minutes to process what I wrote down. So hopefully I got at least 50% of it. If you guys can see, like, this is just like one page of what I wrote. So I'm definitely going to be referring to these notes. Okay. So I initially wrote down, because I can't really decide, or I can't really know if which side is telling the truth. So I wrote down 2 truths until we actually get more concrete information. So Ymir, she had 9 Titans. I don't know if she like created those 9 Titans, or she like gave birth to 9 Titans. And is she being named Ymir? That's why they named Ymir. If that makes sense. And then they started worshiping her. Anyways, the 9 Titans, like, does that mean? Because I tried to write down 9 Titans, but I only came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got the Armor Titan, Beast Titan, Colossal Titan, the Quadruped Titan, the Owl Titan, and Eren's Titan form, which could be considered maybe 1 or 2, considering that, no, I think it's just considered 1. Okay, so we have this war that happened between the Aldeans and the Marleyans. Aldeans are the Titans, and they said it lasted for 1700 years until somehow the Marleyans were able to take 7, convince, I'm not quite sure how, but 7 of the 9 Titans, and then use them to attack the Aldeans. In doing so, the Aldeans were exiled, and then the royal family, the Fritz, they built walls on an island they called Paradise Island, and he said that there are millions of Titans inside of the wall. I don't know if they're exaggerating that just because he doesn't want any more wars, or is there really millions? Some of the imagery in this episode was just awesome. I feel like I just want them as posters or screensavers. They were pretty badass. Like, we saw Titans with like helmets and Greek looking robes. It's pretty badass. Okay, so that was the Great Titan War. When the Aldeans were exiled, there were a few left behind, and they were left behind, which then the Marleyans pretty much turned them into second-class citizens, and they were pretty much called, you know, Devil's Blood or whatever. Anywho, that's how Grisha came to be. He was one of the ones that were left behind, I'm assuming, or his parents were. So Grisha, his sister ends up being murdered by one of those guards, feeding her to the dogs, which was just crazy. So then he ends up becoming a doctor himself, like his father, which then he runs into a patient who tells him about pretty much this rebellion or this resistance that's beginning and how his sister actually died. Grisha obviously joins, and then we have him marrying Dinah Fritz, who I'm assuming she came because she wants the war to happen, unlike, I'm guessing, her father or whatever relative that is currently, you know, ruling. And they give birth to Zeke, which, is he actually the Beast Titan? It's gotta be. There's too many hints to it. The fact that, one, he knows Grisha, and the Beast Titan told Eren that he knew his father and that he's lying. Two, he thinks that he's lying, that's why Zeke betrayed his mom and dad. And three, he was playing with a damn ape toy, so Jesus, it's gotta be him. So yeah, also we have the Marleyans were recruiting Eldian children to become Titans because they want to attack Paradise Island because they actually want the fossil fuels, but they're not telling them that. They're telling them that there is a war thing that's coming or whatever, and that they would be, I guess, like, rewarded or whatever. So that's pretty crazy that Eren and the others are on an island, and they haven't even, I don't think they know that, A, and B, if, from what we saw in that map, how big is the world, and are there other races besides the Marleyans and the Eldians? Are there other nations with Titans, or... Okay. So, Grisha, he was saved by the owl. We now know who he is. And he was a Titan. He was one of the 9. Eren, he was reliving his father's memories. I don't know how exactly that worked, but that shit was crazy. And not his mom, but Grisha's wife, Dinah Fritz, she becomes the Smiling Titan and then kills his future wife. That shit's crazy. And we also saw like other Titans that and I'm sure you guys recognize as well, like obviously the Smiling Titan, but also the Titan with the beard, Santa Claus looking Titan that ate Eren. We saw that weird big eye and the 4-meter Titan. I don't know where we saw that one before, but I am 100% sure that we saw it before season 1 or 2. And then he said something, what was it? Gross or whatever that dude's name was. He said, I'm gonna transform it into a 4-meter. So they can choose what they want to transform the person into, what kind of Titan. Just by the way of spinal fluid from a Titan. So in that case, like, if they were to take spinal fluid from, let's say, the Armor Titan or the Colossal Titan, could they like take, I don't know, 10 vials and turn 10 people into Titans, into Armor Titans or Colossal Titans? Or that just dictates like their size, but not necessarily like the ability, because they're not shifters. They not able to transform between human and Titan. I don't know. And apparently that only works on Eldians or Eldians. Eldians or Eldians? Eldians. So everyone on Paradise Island is Eldians, right? Even though like the Ackermans are different race. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that I'm missing. I'm definitely gonna watch this again. But don't get me wrong, this episode was good, but it was like it's like, you want information, guys? Do you really want information? Bam. I also want to say, like, it was sad that Grisha ended up doing to Zeke. Is it Zeke? Yeah. To Zeke, his son, what his dad did to him, pushing his ideology and pushing his beliefs on him without thinking of him as a kid and what he wants to do and taking his feelings into consideration and stuff like that. I wonder if he went about it a different way, then maybe Zeke wouldn't have betrayed him, and I don't know. Does Zeke become the Beast Titan because he agrees to become one of those recruits? Well, they are gonna inject him with one of the... I don't know how that works though. If they're gonna inject him with the spinal fluid, are they just going to be mindless Titans? Because we saw them inject them on the wall and they do become mindless Titans. So how does that necessarily help? Unless, like, I don't know. Unless, like, they bring those kids over to where they want to fight and then just inject them and release them and hope that they kill the enemy. So yeah, it's called Paradis Island, not Paradise. I don't know why I wrote down Paradise, but oh well. So yeah, they're like on an island, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's not an island surrounded by a river. It's gotta be like the ocean, right? So no one was able to venture out far enough to see the ocean, which I guess makes sense because they didn't want to venture out to begin with, but then when they do, it's filled with Titans. But Armin might get his wish. Then he might be able to, he's gonna see it one day because they are an island, and now that Eren knows that, he's gonna tell them. And could they like venture out to, you know, see the sea or the ocean and eventually go to the Marleyans? I don't know. Hopefully I've covered at least 60% of it or 70% of it, but definitely gonna need to see this at least twice or 3 times. So yeah, guys, let me know what you thought about this episode. Was it a mindfuck like it was for me? Was it so much information. Did you need to watch this at least a few times? Did I miss anything? Am I completely wrong? Let me know if I missed anything from this episode only. No spoilers or anything like that. Just anything vital. But besides that, awesome episode. Glad we got information and looking forward to the next one. So hit me in the comments, let me know what you thought. Like and subscribe. Until next time, guys, take it easy.